Hello everyone. So this is the first video of a three-part collection. I just thought that it would be useful for you guys to hear me kind of talking through some of the points that I want you to be aware of in regard to the article I had you read for today. So here we go. First thing, a couple of notes. You guys are going to be working on your outlines for the next time I have you submit an assignment. So that's kind of the goal of this presentation and looking at this essay, is that at the end I'm going to give you guys some advice on how to construct the outline. So please make sure that you do watch all three of these videos because the outline notes are really important moving into the next assignment. And then also keep in mind that at the very end of this presentation, the end of the third video, I'm going to have guidance to go into doing your reading response. So make sure that you, after you've done the viewing of these videos, also complete the reading response. So here we go, building the bridge essay. So before you go through the points that I have to explain and kind of talk through about this essay, I want to make sure that you've read the two ads that go along with it. So if you'll look here on the class page under today, right beneath the link of this essay, you'll find two videos. Well, in fact, you'll find three, but make sure that you watch these first two because they're the two Cheerio ads that are the focus of the essay. So if you have not looked at those yet, pause here, check them out very quickly, and then come back to the video. Okay, so a really important thing to focus on for this essay and in looking at the example is the introduction. So the note I have here is that this is a good example of thoroughness and detail for a paper of this length, right? Keeping in mind that this sample essay is 7 pages and that you're guiding 7 to 10. And I would actually say if it weren't double columned, this probably is closer to a 10-page paper. So the introduction is rather lengthy. It's a good model for you to keep in mind, especially for the upcoming reading response later today. And my question about this intro is, why is it mentioning sources? So just to answer my own question, since you're not all here to do that, the reason why she's mentioning sources is to contextualize some things and to establish key vocabulary. So an important vocabulary term that's used in the introduction and then throughout the argument of this essay is hegemony. And it's really important to understand this term, so she defines it for us. It's not something that's necessarily a commonly used term for everybody, so since it's more of an academic discovery that she's probably found in her research, she defines it for us and she allows it to frame her entire argument. So that leads into my last question here. What is her argument about recent ads? Well, first, she defines hegemony, which is this idea of how those with power and privilege get to decide the kind of content that we're going to see in our advertisements, right? And in this context, she defines those people who have hegemonic power as being white males of the middle and upper class. So all of the analysis she's giving of the two commercials is based on that kind of traditional context. And her argument is that nowadays, superficially, it seems like we're going against this hegemonic expectation that we have all white families and characters in ads, and now we're getting a lot more diverse families. But of course, we realize about halfway through that she thinks this is just superficial and it's not going as full forth as it should be. So it's all based on this particular term. So keep that in mind. And then moving forward, another thing that's really useful in setting up an essay and just doing an argumentative analysis is having really vivid example descriptions. And I put ad here because, of course, the examples in this essay are ads. Depending on what you're focused on for your paper, your examples could be anything from pop culture. So my note here, right, is that there's a similar methodology to your previous paper, obviously because you wrote about advertisements. That was good practice for you guys, but you might end up focusing on analyses of song lyrics or videos or clips from TV shows and things like that. Just keep in mind the need for vivid example descriptions, right? So my note here, you need to have specific examples to support the argument within your paper. And I want you to just think about how different this particular paper would have been if she had simply interpreted advertising in general but hadn't specified these particular ads. It would have lost its creativity, it would have lost its uniqueness. Of course, she could have probably chosen ads from other companies, but the specific selection of these Cheerios ads is making the vision of this writer unique. And so that goes to my next point, The example descriptions help the reader to go through the process of your vision with specific visual guides. So it's really about your unique vision, right? Given your topic, other people could choose different examples. Your selection of examples shows us the way that you view the topic in a really personal way, which is exactly what you should be going for in an essay, is helping us to see your unique vision. And my last note, don't rush through the examples, take your time. Quality over quantity. What I mean by this is I don't want lists of 20 different examples for your points. Identify a couple that you think are going to be really useful and filter those in throughout the essay. So again, this is a really good example of that. Some of you guys are basing your entire topic on an example, but some of you guys, it's rather broad, and so it's going to be your choice to filter through and identify the most useful and distinct examples for your purposes. So just kind of breaking down the reason why she selected these particular ads and how she interprets them. We have the first one, which is just checking from 2013, and I noted here that she's breaking it down as counter-hegemonic. What does this mean for the purposes of this paper? Well, it means that it goes against the middle to upper class white male expectation of advertising, right? That it's showing a little bit more of an embracement of diversity. And how exactly? Well, just in the composition of the family themselves, being an interracial family, right? That just the appearance of what we see there and the fact that they are a united family, that they're living a happy and comfortable life, this is all pointing to counter hegemony within the ad. So after that, she goes into the second ad, which came out 2 years after, and she talks about how it even has a stronger family love narrative. So my question here, what makes it stronger? I'm sure you remember this from the article. She's saying that now we have a mother who is pregnant and about to have a child, so an expansion of the family. We have a daughter who wants the dog. And so all of these things that are expanding within the family, again, go back to American tradition, right? To showing that a loving and happy American family should have a mother and a father, 2 kids, and a dog, right? So it's going more into this idea of happiness in the family. And so again, the breakdown of both of these ads, it's vivid, it's creative, and it's also analyzing the fact that they go against the hegemony by saying, well, you can be an interracial family and you can still have all of these happy characteristics that we strive for in America. So I just wanted to end this video on how she arrives at kind of the heart of her argument once she's broken down the ads. So my note is, while Salg is clearly in support of the progressive content within both ads, she notes a couple of specific reasons why they are not as strongly counter-hegemonic as they could be. And so I'm going to leave the video here and get into a little bit of the breakdown, right? The whole point is, it sounds like we're starting with her support, but we realize at this moment she's begun with her opposition, which is to say, yes, these ads are doing a good job of showing diversity in the family, but then we realize that they're not as strongly doing so as they could, and that's in fact the argument that she plans to support. So we will pause here and get into analysis of the reasons why she believes this. Just a moment till the other video.